Now the story of a wealthy family who lost everything, and the one son who had no choice but to keep them all together. It's
TC and Jake.
So I was in the shower today.
Yeah.
And I was started thinking about something and just got more and more mad. Just really got myself fairly incensed.
Tizzy?
Just thinking about how no white people name their sons Jesus, but they use every other fucking name in the Bible. Like, what kind of hipster ass bullshit is we got a million fucking Zachs running around? What does Zachariah do in the Bible? You're gonna have to tell me. Like, we just got all these parents showing off. Like, I'm actually, I mean, Jesus was good, but if you read a lot of those other things, I mean, Zachariah really spoke to me. Shut the fuck up. Just name your kid Jesus. The whole religion is centered around Jesus. You want to name something from the Bible? Like, it's not like you're, if we all just agreed, like, there's some convention about names from a religion are kind of weird, fine. But that's clearly not how you feel. Daniel's in there for 2 fucking pages.
So, on one hand, I would say that's a different deal. Because most of your religious naming is New Testy.
I don't know.
I would say 75%. But in recent time, you're right. Zach.
You know who's kind of the big character in the New Testy?
Jesus.
That's the top one for me.
Zach, or Zechariah, Old Testy, Jonah, big comeback, Micah, Joel, Amos. I feel like those are all pretty big time.
What about
Old Testy name? Nobody's naming their kid Esther.
I mean, they do sometimes.
Nobody's naming their kid Nehemiah.
That's true.
Most of the Old Testy names you're not seeing anymore. The New Testy names are Matthew, Mark, Jacob, Luke, and John. I mean, dude, look at me. Jacob, Matthew, my brother Joseph, Daniel.
I know it.
We were New
That's what I'm
Testy
saying.
up. Yeah, no, for sure.
And, the fact that we have authors of the gospel as prominent, name persons, like that makes sense. Like, I think they should be up there. But they should be talked about less than Jesus. Because they're big figures. They did a lot. Heavy lifting, major players. Not like fucking Daniel.
I haven't really thought about this at all. But it is a
Just if you watch a movie, if your favorite movie was Star Wars, are you naming your kid fucking Boba? If you do, you're a hipster-ass person that needs to be probably curbed.
Shit. I don't know about that, man. What's the difference? I mean,
name him Luke.
To be honest with you, Luka Doncic means as much to me as the New Testament meant to my mom. And I'm not fucking playing about that. Like, that absolutely is the case.
Okay.
And so, like, our buddy Vic Wynn, I don't know if you've ever met Vic. He used to be at Fox 4. Now he's at NBC. He literally named his kid Luka Maxi.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom. I don't have that freedom.
Yeah, but I'm saying you would. Like, you love Luca, so you would name it Luca.
But what
These people are lukewarm on Jesus? That's not what I'm getting from the rest of this shit.
What I'm saying is that a lot of people who name their kids after biblical names, particularly New Testament names, like, we didn't go to church until I was like 9 or 10. We didn't grow up like hardcore church people. Yet this woman had 2 kids, 4 names available, and all 4 of them were like 4 of the 6 seeds in the New Testy. So, like, I don't know, some of it is probably performative, not to overuse that word, but I do think, like, some of it is like, look, I got Bible name kids.
Meant a lot to me.
I mean, I'm sure to her it did, but we weren't going to church, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah,
but if you really want to if you really want to, like, ball, name your kid Ezra Nehemiah.
No, I think you name him Jesus. I think you name him Jesus God.
Jesus God Ranger.
Yeah, otherwise you're playing fucking weird trick games. Like, you say you're a big fan of Luca, so you like to name your kid Luca. Totally reasonable. If you named your kid fucking who did they trade for today?
JJ.
Oh, if you named him Reddick, like, I'd be like,
Actually,
That fucking blows.
I think Reddick's a cool first name.
It is kind of a cool first
It's a cool first name. And really, my Luca thing, just like with Dirk, and obviously, like, it's tough to
What's Luca's middle name?
I don't know. I should know. But I don't know that middle names pop the same way that they do everywhere else. You know?
Maybe a lot of people don't have them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, the names that we call...
Dirk's is Werner.
Werner. That's probably
Lucas.
99 out of 100. Well, no, because Germany's not Slovenia. But I meant for Germany, if your first name's not Werner, it's probably...
looks like there is no middle.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's a universal thing. And I mean... do you remember the first time that like you learned that what we called Asian people were their first names?
Yeah, I still...
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like the flip around. But I wonder, like, because I've never really thought about this. You just kind of proposed it. Like, how many people, evangelicals, or I suppose I'll say evangelicals just because that's what I grew up with. I wonder how many of those people, like, actually internalize the... Etymology would not be the right word because we're not talking about the name, but I suppose like the suspected genealogy of the man who was Jesus Christ. Like, do they really think he was from Biloxi?
What are you saying?
I just, like, we all laugh at it on Twitter, like in our own like cultural silo, and we're like, yo, they really made Jesus look like this. And it's like a guy who looks like, you know, Robert Redford.
Yeah.
But I don't know that, like, most of the people that I grew up going to church with would have been like, well, that's what he looks like. Anything other than that, you know? Like, I don't know that most people that I grew up around in religion ever actually stopped to think like, well, yeah, I mean, he was from the Middle East. Like, he clearly does not look like Burt Reynolds. So to them, like, I wonder if they're like, almost like passively acknowledging that by not naming their child Jesus, because Jesus is an ethnic name. Jesus is an ethnic name. Like Luke doesn't sound ethnic. Like Daniel doesn't sound ethnic.
Today, you're right. But I'm saying, you know, whenever all these naming conventions started, I'm not indicting our generation's naming. I'm not indicting hundreds and hundreds of years of naming.
But I think it still applies because
DMZ 726 isn't going to like that, dude.
I think it still applies because I'm saying, like, you know, 100 years ago, somebody made the decision in 1921 that Luke, Daniel, Joseph, Jacob, Matthew sounded like a acceptable name that you could pass off, even though all of those people were also from the Levianth. You know, they're Syrian. But Jesus was of them. And yet still, like, something about that name they were not able to...
is that the conventions, like, you thinking that it is an ethnic or not an ethnic name is based on, like, decisions that people made. Like,
you think it's only
Daniel
that.
And Jesus were, you know, at the time, the same, you know, like...
Do you think that's actually the case? Or did they pick, like, a separate name that, like, sounded more distinguished? Like in some way.
I guess I'd be interested in having a biblical scholar on to hash this out. And
yeah, I don't know.
Possibly that could explain it.
Because, like, here's what I would say.
The most likely thing to me is that at the time that they were similarly popular and that for whatever reason in our culture, they decided that they wanted these fucking... Well, you know, I've been a Bible fan for a long time.
Bible fan.
Their later albums, you know, the bigger ones, that doesn't mean as much to me.
I'm more a fan of The Room is on Fire.
Yeah, so I named my child Zachariah.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is, you know, if you look at the time of the Old Testament, which I don't know, you look at the time of the New Testament, I only know when they say it started. The New Testament names are much more palatable in current American culture, and they're not that far off, like in time, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you're talking about, again, like your Matthew, Mark, Luke, Jacob, John, and that's like 400 to 500 years after Eov.
Eov?
And like Mishe.
Yeah.
And like that's, there had to have been some, I mean, obviously you have like the, you know, Judaism, Christo, that always made me uncomfortable. Christo Judaism. Judeo-Christian. But, I mean, you know, the upshot of it is I was named after Bible figures without really being a Bible person.
They should have named you Jesus.
We went retroactive. That is still like a top 5 bad radio moment for me.
What?
Like when
Bob
Bob's
being
phone,
called by Jesus.
When Bob's phone started ringing and it was
great that it's him.
His pool guy.
Yeah.
But
if it was just Mino had a pool guy named Jesus, it wouldn't land the same way.
Yeah.
I would like here's an idea for a Key and Peele sketch.
Okay.
Their next season.
You gonna do the impression?
No.
Okay.
Because it's just a concept.
Because you tried me last week or yesterday, frankly, on what if an Asian person was in blackface. Which was your idea.
No, I mean, listen to the tape.
Yeah, I mean, I will. So will all the people.
I'll
buzz the lens.
You're fucking digging the road, paving it, laying out the entire road, and then someone walks down the road, and you're like, ah!
Who messed up that road?
Who could do that? No, so it's the setting. It looks like one of those the NCAA Selection Sunday shows.
I'm gonna vape hard tonight.
Go for it.
That's what you people pay for.
I'm just letting you know, though, DMV would like for you to stop drinking.
DMV
726. He says, please curb the amount of ice sloshing, ice chewing, audible drinking in the pod so that I don't drive a spike through my head.
Oh, okay. Well, you can vouch that that's like 99% of the time water. At my house, I'm not drinking booze at my house at 3:45 in the afternoon. This is water.
No, he's just the noise bothers him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if it's if you're drunk.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's a Selection Sunday scene. You know how they'll do that a lot of times. Where
I've heard of.
They're taking the. Well, I just mean Key and Peele in their comedic work.
Yeah,
will use a template that you already know from the culture.
Sure.
And then kind of put a spin on it.
Yeah.
It's a Selection Sunday, but it's the books of the Bible.
Okay.
So there were your Dead Sea Scrolls and whatnot, stuff
that's not in the Bible.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you can go like
there's works at the time that were similar to the works that ended up in the Bible. And I mean, whenever because there's hundreds of years in between some of these books, right? Like the letters and shit. Like it's not like all those are written like during Jesus'
sequentially.
Time. Not even close.
Hand it off like a relay.
And they just fucking found some letters and were like, Bible now. And I imagine that someone probably wrote a letter that they felt was at least as good as Paul's letter to the Thessalonians, and just ended up with nothing. History has no memory of it, where there's 7 billion fucking copies of the other one, and so that's a pretty big bubble.
Okay, so
being on that Bible bubble.
How does the committee work?
I mean, you probably just make them look like the selection committee for the NCAA. Maybe one of them's God. That'd be funny. It's a good bit.
Well, it's not that good. It's not that good of a bid.
It's a good bit. People like it. I'm hearing a lot of good feedback.
But I do like the idea of weeding out the Bible.
I mean, they did. They had to have.
What, NIV?
Well, I'm just saying, whatever they're selecting, I doubt. I mean, obviously, just like New Testament and Old Testament, that New Testament was just floating around for a while, and then they were like, we should add all these. Or the Old Testament was floating around. They were like, we should add these New Testament.
It's like the AFL and the NFL.
And then
if you guys are going to do this,
picking what's going to be in the New Testament surely was a process.
Yeah, surely.
So,
it would actually be like a pretty fun thing if you and I read a book of the Bible every week.
I don't know.
I mean, it would take you an hour and a half. You can't find an hour and a half. That could become the whole podcast.
I don't know how to read, and I don't want to learn.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird deal, man. We talked about this. I was sitting in the same spot. I don't know. It was probably 2.5, 3 months ago, talking about some of this stuff. But the school that we pretty much have to send Nora to, they're definitely singing Bible songs. It's not...
Have to? I thought you moved to fucking Grapevine so we could go to the... Oh, you're talking about the preschool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not a preschool. It's daycare.
Yeah, okay. But I get what you said. I thought you were talking about, I don't know. I'm not trying to, give the terrorists your address, but you live close to Grapevine Faith, and so every time I drive by, I'm like...
Nah, I'm not paying for that, bro.
Yeah, please tell me.
No way, man.
I mean, whatever.
No, this is daycare.
Yeah, okay.
And they're very nice people. You know, for real, I've dropped her off there a couple times now, and I really like the vibe. They're really
That's cool.
She comes home and she's really excited about it. She's excited to go in the morning when we tell her it's school day. But you know, I don't love it. I don't love that she knows Bible stories now. I don't love that it's being promoted at some other, stops in her weekly, and that's a whole other deal. But it's like, I don't know. It makes me stop and think like, man, I mean, I wonder if I would have a different relationship, to an extent with religion, if my experience would have been different. Probably not. It probably would be the same. But I do wonder, if it would have shook out differently for me if I didn't have like a palpable negative experience every time I think about it. So I don't know. I don't want that to happen for her. A lot of people will say like, well, why don't you let them choose for themselves? And my thought has always just been, well, whenever you make it a...
People say that? Like, what does that fucking mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, they do. What that means is, well, why don't you let them be educated in, Judeo-Christian ideas and evangelical...
That's letting them choose for themselves? Forcing them to learn all those ideas, and then at the end, they can pick whether or not they wanted to learn them?
I would say that's a pretty common take.
That's not very smart.
No. Not in front of me. There's a lot of words you can say in front of me, but that's not one of them.
I can't say not very smart?
But I think that's pretty common, though, is like people will say like, all right, well, don't brainwash your kid, just let them... Just let them figure it out on their own. But obviously, as you pointed out, like figuring it out on your own, like comes with a lot of pretense.
I think it's pretty clear you have to make a choice, like whether or not to take them to church.
Yeah, but obviously that gets...
And it's not like taking them to church is not making that choice. Yeah, that's not letting them choose for themselves.
And I can get how it gets dicier the older they get. Like if they have friends and they want to go do something with friends and they want to go to youth group or they want to go do this, that, and the third. Like it's like, all right, well,
I wonder if they'll have people will tell Izzy that she's going to hell. That'd be a bummer. She'd probably be distressed by that.
I don't know, but all I know is the tide that I'm attempting to stem is not being stemmed at this current state. So
you're dealt a tough hand.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of thrive in that situation. You've seen me do it before.
Yeah, I don't know. You're not there,
Yeah, but I mean,
the various places that your daughter has dropped off, and all of them, the universal thing is you're not there.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, you can have your own set of points laid out.
Did your brother buy this?
Of course he did.
Little Goose Island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, Megan doesn't. Megan feels about IPAs the way that DMV 726 feels about you drinking on the air.
Dude, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's a little ice slush. So that's if you want how do you do what you do? Dan and I talk about this all the time, and we thought it would be an interesting segment. I don't know that it ever turned into one, but dude, when I'm at home, water, ice.
You drink water with ice in it?
Always.
Okay.
You don't?
No, I do.
Like, I don't ever drink water at home without ice.
It just doesn't really seem worth remarking on.
Like, but that's what he's saying he can hear.
I think he's saying that any of the consuming of liquid, the whole process.
Because I can imagine that the ice clanging against the the Yeti cup or something is quite loud.
Yeah, no, he says ice sloshing, ice chewing, so that's how you get that impression. But he also includes audible drinking. Because
Kristen thinks it's weird that I like glass of water at home.
I don't think it's weird to put ice in it. No.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal.
Okay.
Then it's colder. My big thing is just whether or not to crush or not crush, and that depends on how I'm drinking it. If there's a straw involved somewhere, if I've got the big Yeti with the little flexi straw,
love the flexi straw.
Then we can just put cubes.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be drinking it straight, I would like it to be crushed. I don't want the cube sitting against my lip.
I don't have the crushy.
Yeah, but you will
One
soon.
day. Yeah, I'll level up one day.
That's on the list. I mean, you had a good deal. You can't turn down that deal for that fridge.
I don't know if this is true or not. When I left my house, it was true. But then when I got here and I was sitting outside, it appeared that there were some conflicting reports about Today I Got Time Kid.
Huh?
The Today I Got Time Kid might be dead, which is my third favorite video in the history of the internet.
I don't know that I'm real familiar with that.
Well, we can watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
If you will commit to, in post, editing out like 2 words. You don't have to take it out of the video.
I don't want to.
So, it's just going to be Today I Got Time. It's
not
gonna
us saying it.
See, look, it says Today I Got Time cuz killed.
Should I click on that one?
I don't know. I mean, if he's dead, then that might not do it. This is a video that Mino and I would watch. It's this one right here. If he's not dead, then, that's really, well, we wish to proceed. So you're going to have to edit this a little bit. You understand that, right?
I'm not doing it.
You're going to have to do it. So this is my third favorite video on the internet.
You disrespecting me. You disrespect my hood by telling me take off my flag, asking how gangster I was. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz I told you I ain't got time for that. But today I got time.
It don't matter. Pistol game, bitch. Right. You got your cousin right there.
I know like 10 of these
kids. On me
kids.
on some fun shit. I don't make peace with niggas that come up on me on some disrespectful shit when I didn't even know you. You walked up on me and set down your beer like, what's up, how gangster are you, cuz? Huh? How gangster are you? Yeah, I'll show you how gangster I am, nigga. You can drop off your kid and run my fade. Exactly. I go hard, cuz. You don't want to fuck with me.
I go hard. And he's pretty much out from there, There's not much more. Yeah.
He's dead. So you want me to bleep every time he says the end?
I mean, you're going to have to. Or we can just take all this out. Yeah, I know, but... So anyways, people are saying he's dead.
If we played a rap song, we have to, like, go in every time? Because, we're not black. No, dude. No, absolutely fucking not.
Then, send it to me and I'll do it.
I guess I'll do it, but
I think he's dead.
I can't listen to things that include it. That's your stance.
Well, you can listen to it. You just can't record and publish it.
I can. Whatever. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable.
I think he's dead.
I will respect your wishes. I think your wishes are ridiculous.
I think he's dead.
It's PC culture is probably what got him, to be honest.
So number 2 is the Dr. Phil.
Well, yeah, of course.
Dr. Phil bum fights video, which was huge this week. And actually, I had this whole Bad Bobby video, but
the one she took down, or did she put it back up?
There's a 9-minute video on YouTube.
Okay, yeah,
it's longer than the Twitter
yeah, I know
video.
She did like
yeah, and I think there's going to be more. I mean, it's a very Papa Johnny like Day of Reckoning is coming type situation.
Yeah, because I think that she was saying like give me an apology.
Yeah.
Or
What's
in the private Excel Facebook group.
That was popping.
It was popping, and a kid was like, "Yeah, I went there, like Turnabout Ranch," and if she thought that was tough.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a 3-month program. Turnabout Ranch is.
I guess in my mind, I could imagine a scenario where because it's a shorter amount of time, it's like a higher intensive and
I think
they're just trying to like break the shit out of you.
He's talking about the guy in the group is talking about his experience, of like which one he liked better. So that's one way of like judging it. Another way of judging it is that I believe that they have multiple sexual assault allegations and a death on their hands. I'm shocked
and the
to
other
say
one is
I don't believe that anyone died directly at Excel.
What about the sex thing?
What that they had? Oh. What are you saying?
I'm asking. Like, were there any allegations on that
assaults?
Front? Yeah. Or
there was
harassment?
Consensual, but no, you just weren't around girls enough to.
No. I more mean like a power.
Oh, like a staff member?
Yeah.
No, not
discrepancies
not to my knowledge.
in authority.
There was I don't think we've talked about this on here. It's a whole thing. The program administrators I think it's more her daughter, but like she's definitely also involved. The lady who ran.
We've talked about her.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
She's her kid and her were running like a COVID pod and like advertising like send your kids to this daycare.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's like if it's a daycare that has COVID awareness, they have a daycare. Like out of their house, they run a daycare. That's what I'm saying.
But they were advertising it as one of the few safe daycares in the land of Pendy.
Yeah, and you just can't let that woman near kids. The group agreed on that. And someone actually like talked to found I think there was only like 2 kids in it or something, but somehow an Excel alum knew one of them. And I'm not here to report giant crimes or anything, but like the level of attempt to control people's lives was still quite present. Like their
daycare?
Their COVID rules were just about the parents, they were trying to dictate to the parents like what risks they could and could not take if they were going to be involved in this COVID pod.
Sometimes I think there's been times when, because we've been really good friends for 10 years now.
That's true.
And I've learned a lot about myself because of you. And I would say if you were honest with yourself, you would say the same.
Of course.
And I feel like a better person because we're friends. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, it would be really dope if there was a combination of me and TC. That person would be very capable because they would have this and that, they would have that and this. And then on the other hand, I think there'd be a bunch of dead people. Because if I were you and I had been put through those situations and I had, run into some of the I don't say trouble, but trials that you had, and I had my emotional capacity at the time that you got put in them, I absolutely would have wicked some people.
There was kids who, their reaction was violence.
Yeah, I think I would have, and that's not like a tough guy thing. I would have been put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm positive that had I been put around adults who then ran a restrictive COVID daycare, I would have reacted negatively to that in a physical sense. So
in response to the daycare,
yeah,
the group, the private Facebook group for Excel alumni that I enjoy very much.
Sorry, Daniel, my mouth is dry.
They got together. Some of the people were like, we got to do something to stop this from occurring, which I agree.
But it's not occurring.
When I learned the news, well, it's not occurring now because they were, the big thing that they accomplished was that there was a moms group in the greater Montgomery County area where they were advertising, and they got them to pull the advertising. So there's not many kids. There's, like I said, 2 or 3 kids in it already.
Okay, but still, timeline me. This is a decade old, right?
What?
The
COVID pod?
Okay. So the Excel kids are trying to stop the COVID pod from happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So they started an Instagram account to kind of, make it tough. Just so if you Googled the COVID pod, that this might come up. Something like that.
Yeah.
And so they've been kind of saying here are the worst things about Excel. If you want to know what this place is like this is the deal. And one of the guys who worked there for the last several months that I was there was arrested for domestic violence. He's a former sheriff's deputy, whatever.
We've actually talked about this guy before too.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheriff's deputies that have done things that they then got arrested for. And then I don't know who this is, but they published a message from a female student that said, "Holy shit, I haven't thought of this in so many years. Officer Dan was another weirdo Jamie hired. After I left Excel, he contacted me and was sending me crazy messages. How I wish I had those. He wanted to be with me and tried to bribe me to go out with him. That's crazy. He definitely scared me with his crazy messages." Yeah, and so whenever you ask,
That's weird, too, because
were there sexual assaults? I think the answer is no, but that's fucking odd to be like, yeah, that fucking girl that I mean, he was in his 40s, 50s when I met him.
And also, that guy kind of looked like Mitt Romney.
He did look a little bit like Mitt Romney.
Like if we're tying in the Bain capital element, one of the
I think I've told the story before of him telling us that he could go 100 on the highway because if he got pulled over, there's a special wallet that all cops have that they all respect mutually.
What, it has a token in it?
It's
me and my friends all speed.
Whenever you open it, whenever you open it up, it's got like you know how you have the thing for your driver's license that's kind of clear.
Yeah.
It's got a second one of those in the top that's like a police ID. So you can't look at the driver's license without seeing the police ID.
Yeah,
they get special IDs. Is
Maybe,
what I learned.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I was the son of a cop for many years, and maybe that's true. And
you didn't have
he just never
the
showed
special
me.
wallet. I mean, it could be a Houston area thing. I don't know.
It was super weird how like the guy, and I've never had the balls to name him. But the
Larry?
guy, no. Dude, I think Larry died. Didn't we talk about that?
I don't think we did.
I think he did.
Holy shit!
I think so.
How'd he go?
Without knowing, I shouldn't say.
Okay, that's fair.
But I feel like I heard that.
Too young.
He was a
dude.
troubled man.
Too young.
Yeah. Probably all started at that nacho rendezvous.
God needed a guy to lose fights.
But the coach at my high school that was fucking a girl
Mm-hmm.
who was like the hottest girl in our grade. The really weird thing about it to me, and like I've always taken myself as a dummy, but in this instance, I feel like we were all thinking it. So like we must have not all been that dumb. Was it seemed very obvious while we were still in school. Like it was super obvious.
Yeah.
And then like the summer after we graduated high school, and we may have even talked about this before, I don't recall. The summer after we graduated high school, he was like, so what are we talking? Like 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
He was like showing up at house parties, like outside, like get in the car.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like just piss drunk, leaving the golf course, like in his Benz,
Yeah,
it's like,
think
dude,
he's-
like
I
we
think
fucking
he's a
know.
bad person.
And like she had a boyfriend at the time too. Like I don't know if they
really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like I don't know. You know how this shit goes. Like
I have a hard time imagining how that goes.
like maybe they had a relationship sometime like earlier in her high school time, and then maybe like off. I don't think that they were ever like going to prom together. Is what I'm saying. So like maybe she had somebody that was like that. And then like he would show up and we were like, dude, what the fuck? Like you're our teacher. Like we know like what the fuck is going on here. Like you were literally like coaching her like six weeks ago, and now you're here pissed drunk in this front yard. And you know who was ready to be like, does he want to fight?
Sounds like you.
Yeah. He didn't want to do that.
I've always been very envious.
He would have smoked the shit out of me too.
Yeah, you got to
would've been
try.
$1.60 at the time.
I mean, that's not what you're here for, right? Like, does it matter if you win?
No, it doesn't. That's
what I'm
one of the
saying.
greatest myths about fighting that there's ever been. The only reason you fight is for fun.
For me, the action is the juice.
Exactly. By the way, my first favorite video, if bum fights were second, my first favorite is Shovel Girl.
Oh yeah,
Which
that
is
a
pretty.
good one.
It's pretty tough to find.
Not
like
gonna play it on the podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to find
It's a
like
visual
a
one.
short, like tight video of Shovel Girl. But
and I mean, even if you did, it's not an audio experience.
yeah, and I think that one too. It's just I think I could see myself seeing this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the best version of an internet video.
Yeah,
Like the Suez Canal is like, that's pretty interesting. But like,
it's funny.
I don't know.
I don't know how they
I don't really know how I could like relate to that.
Like, given
seeing a trashy girl with dyed red hair and barefoot with a SpongeBob tank top on get hit in the head with a diamond head.
we're gonna see that.
I could see
at
that
some point.
yeah. It's very relatable
You should
to me.
start leaving shovels out in your backyard at the lake. I feel like then it's a matter of time.
Yeah. And a camera.
The Suez Canal thing, I like, given the stakes there, like the amount of money we're talking about, how do they not have like a big helicopter or something?
Like, what would the helicopter do?
Just lift it.
Lift what? The whole boat? You fucking dummy.
Got it. I just mean,
What are
whatever,
you even saying?
Okay, like helicopter, no. But I'm just, obviously they don't have bigger things, but it's been days now.
Bro, that thing
Trade between Europe and Asia has ceased.
Oh my God, TZ.
And they've got like one fucking backhoe out there. That's the extent of it.
Okay,
We have more resources that we can bring to bear. I am confident of that.
Okay,
maybe it's not a big helicopter. I mean, I'm wondering if it's worth it to blow up the boat.
It's been proposed to blow up the boat. That has been proposed.
I feel like people don't understand the stakes. I feel like they went to their regular checklist of what happens when a boat's stuck, and I think that like, you know, being fucking like, you know, if I got our Yamaha Powercraft fucking, you know, wedged in, you know, coming out of De Cordova Bend,
Yeah,
there's a checklist for that, and I feel like they're applying that checklist to the Suez Canal right now, and to me, that's a mistake.
it never failed you.
That's true. I've not been stuck for several days.
Bro, they would need literally 10,000 helicopters, like rotation pulling.
Do they have them?
The blades would be too close. That's not a feasible option.
Well, try something.
I have actually seen people proposing, like, you know, because this is like Kristen's industry.
Yeah.
And they're
what does she think about it?
Well, same thing everyone thinks.
It's bad.
What are we gonna do about this?
Well, I think that they should be asking themselves that question quite serious. You know what I mean?
So the question is, like, can you dig around it, like, and leave it there while you figure it out easier than you can blow it up, or like offload all the cargo?
Every morning I wake up, I look at the trending topics and say, surely they've figured out the situation that is stopping global trade. But
what would it be?
I'm telling you, it's whatever it is, they need to think bigger. You can laugh at helicopters, but that's the kind of thing that we need.
They're going to blow it up.
I mean, it seemed like they were making some headway with the backhoe.
Some.
The time to blow it up was fucking 2 days ago.
Yeah, but, you know.
You don't get to this point and then
don't
blow
let
it
good
up.
be the enemy of perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the second it's stuck, just blow that bitch to smithereens.
Okay, I have another Daniel on Twitter.
Because it's not like you needed 3 fucking days to figure out, hey, we should blow it up.
And also, like, I'm not buying a Ducati.
Is that what's on there?
It's a lot of that.
Okay.
So go to Twitter and go to the Twitter account, Daniel77105. So, you know, we were talking about Twitter the other day on the free pod this week. No. It's 105. Yeah. So,
I'm dyslexic with numbers.
I know occasionally, stay here first.
Okay.
I know occasionally I'll violate my own rules by doing like a semi-serious tweet. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen from time to time. And honestly, like, and I could definitely see somebody being like, you're a big fill in the blank. But I think it's kind of cool that like I know Skin really well, right? Like I consider him a mentor. I consider him a friend. I think he's an awesome person.
You're the godfather of his third child.
I think he's an exceptional person who speaks his mind about important things and has always kind of been like a, you know, fuck you to don't tell me I can't say this or that. Like I feel like Skin is really, really good at being outspoken about a couple things. Like Skin grew up, like, frankly, if there's no other way to say it, like in black culture. Like he was in hip hop groups like from the age of 17 on. And I feel like
he was telling people that he had time today.
He was telling people he had time today. And I feel like he gets it and he knows how to convey being, you know, a quote ally. And I feel like Followell gets it as well. And there was a moment in last night's game where they were talking.
You know, growing up in a multicultural place like Justin.
Well, I feel like if anybody who grew up in a place like Justin has done more to just be like, I want to immerse myself in different cultures.
Yeah, no, I think Mark's great. I agree entirely with what you're saying.
I mean, I know what you're saying too, but I also feel like, Mark is, Mark, I don't even know if anybody, like if he's talked about this, so maybe he doesn't want this known, but Mark volunteers with the local refugee displacement nonprofits.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I respect the shit out of both them. Harp has been in the league forever, and I think it's really cool that all three of them take the time, whenever the time is called for, to speak about, whatever the racial and systemic racism issue of the day is. And they were talking about the passing of Elgin Baylor. Now, Elgin Baylor, back in the late 50s, took some stands of I'm not going to play in this game if we can't stay in the hotel, or I'm not going to play in this game if we can't get on the bus, if we can't eat, I'm not playing in this game. And they brought that up and talked about it at length. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Just because, shit, I mean, the NFL, you don't get team broadcasts, so you know what you're getting with the NFL. You're getting a sanitized broadcast. With NBA, I watch a decent number of NBA broadcasts, and, some of them will do it, most of them won't. I feel like maybe a lot of it is Cuban providing the cover, but I feel like Skin, Followell, and Harp will go to places that not everybody else does, and that's not to say that I think they're perfect. So I tweeted something about that.
I mean, I think Harp's the best in the game.
See, I think Harp overuses the word aggressive, and we all know that, but I also think Harp still is a really fun person to listen to on a broadcast. So this guy right here...
I think that once a game he says something that's right in the level of, sometimes when I get water, I have ice in it.
I was literally only saying that because I thought you said that he was complaining about the sound of the clanging of the ice in the cup.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I could find to be annoying because I've had people tell me, you get ice in your cup at home.
Okay. That's crazy that they would say that to you.
I don't have
I guess I'm just so strongly with you.
I don't have an ice maker.
Why I found it.
So I dip,
Yeah.
I dip in the bucket.
But I would if I were you.
Thank you. Looks like Bob's already had a problem with this individual. So if you want to go, if you want to go to his account, so yeah, here you go. So you're gonna see a shitload of porn here. I just thought this was funny. So yeah, it's gonna be a whole bunch of this. So so go down. Yeah, so keep going.
More
so
porn.
Keep going. Yeah. So okay, so we're getting close. Yeah. Okay,
RT,
other way. Yeah, so that's the first one I saw. So keep going. That's a fake dick. That's why I found out that was on there. Keep going. Maybe he deleted it. I
mean, worth paying attention to this, right? Mike was just saying that Dana Larson, he feels, is the lifeblood of Fox Sports Southwest.
Mike Reiner.
Now Bally Sports Southwest. Yes. And he was saying positive things about her. And this fucking darling individual said, do you realize how long her greatness has been the very linchpin of that thing? And he responded, about as long as her graph neck.
I think that's like giraffe.
He's definitely trying to slang term giraffe.
No, I actually think this dude doesn't know how to spell. Go up a little bit further. and if it's not here, then he probably just deleted it. He deleted it. Yeah, so I said what I said. I was like, oh, it's really cool to have a broadcast crew that will kind of get into these things. Okay, here we go.
Here,
yeah. Because Silky, buddy of ours. Okay. Yeah, so I said what I said. You want to go to the top real quick? I can't imagine there are too many NBA team broadcasts willing to address systemic racism and its history with more than just hand waving. Ours does. I'm proud they're ours. You can laugh at that if you want, but I am actually proud of them. And he said, yeah, I want to hear from millionaires and billionaires how systemically racist we all, if that was true, there wouldn't be an NFL, NBA, or MLB. Which
he's saying that he should be congratulated for allowing black players to participate in the NFL. Yeah,
I said, it was a broadcast crew, so I'm not sure what you think Followell makes, but I think that would be aiming a bit high. And he said, towing the company line. So then, we don't even have to read the rest of this. I went to his account, and I find this to be a very common occurrence.
There we go.
if you click here, like I find it that a lot of times to the actual account, I find a lot of times.
You can't read this one?
Oh, I haven't read it.
It says, I don't hate anyone and I'm not racist. Like, this is just my classic point of like, you know, he is pretty much directly saying, you know, yeah, I want to hear from millionaires and billionaires how systemically racist we all are. If that was true, there wouldn't be an NBA or MLB. Like, I guess that I'm doing some interpreting there by saying that his core claim is, well, we do let them work.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it seems like
they're allowed to
by not automatically assuming
trade on their craft
that no one is granting someone the right to work, that like all as humans we intrinsically deserve the right to work.
Right.
Like I would say that difference in understanding to me does capture some understanding of racism.
Yeah.
But you know, because it's a slippery term, he's like, I'm racist. I watch black people play football.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I'm not racist. I just don't like people saying everything is racist and then align themselves with an oppressive country, namely China.
Bingo.
Taking in millions, profiting off of child sweatshops, including Nike, in that boat as well. So support the true racists. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, the Nike talking point is like old as fuck, right?
Yeah, no, that's been around since I was a kid.
But I mean, like,
still want those.
When it was around when you were a kid, it was true. Like, within a couple of years of those attacks coming out, like, Nike treats their employees very well. Like,
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like, in those countries, it's like a big fucking deal to get the Nike factory job. You know, because like the company that you've heard of, that's the Johnson and Johnson shop next door that didn't have this PR campaign doesn't really give a shit. You know,
it's pressure through the media. So, anyways, the reason I'm doing this, his display name is hashtag Blue Lives Matter, hashtag All Lives Matter, hashtag Walk Away Movement. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Walk Away Movement is the encouragement of black people to leave the Democratic Party because it's not fully serving their interests.
For real?
Candace Owens, yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
like her.
Right on. I learned something today. So, anyways, if you go down and
Past the
here,
porn.
stop. Go up a little bit. I just want to say this, like.
He's retweeting. Please help Fort Worth police find these.
So I actually know the girl.
Shut the fuck up.
I actually know the girl who got hit right here. So that's like a whole other deal.
I didn't realize that she got hit. Okay.
Yeah,
I apologize and retract.
But I'll tell you this: that is going to stand out to you as an outlier among the rest of his social media profile.
Okay.
It's a really weird thing, man. And this person does not have like anything purporting to be moralistic other than, you know, all lives matter, blue lives matter, which I suppose you could take as a moral proposition, but it's not a religious.
Life mattering is.
It's not a religious thing, right? Like he doesn't have a Christ, you know, or a Bible verse.
He didn't name his son Jesus.
Or a more, whatever the funny one we found from the Old Testament was earlier. But I'll tell you, man, it's really funny. Because I deal with this a lot, right? Like it's not, you know, it's old hat to me. But I swear to God, dude, at least one quarter, and I'm conservatively making that estimation and projection.
Mm-hmm.
At least one quarter of the time that somebody has a problem with something that I like very, very lightly said regarding anything related to social
pretty
or
understated
political issues. Yeah, I mean, it was nothing, right? Like it wasn't. And even this morning, like this morning I tweeted something about Big Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Your governor, Big Jim.
He's huge.
He's huge. He's a fat fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and watched the first Big Jim.
Sure.
It's like listening to fucking Cheshire Cat, dude. Like, he's like, look at him over there. His height, he's 6'6". His weight, we don't know.
He's a miracle of science, ladies and gentlemen.
It's amazing, bro. 25% of the time, at least, when I go to their pages, it's this. Go up.
The porn?
Down now, whatever you want to call that. It's just this. It's just a fucking woman, and it's retweet if you want a big fat load all over my face. And it's just a chick sucking a fake dick. And then I continue to go down.
It is
and it's just dicks. It's just dicks and butts and pussies. And it's like, and here's the other weird thing. most of the accounts that he's retweeting, faving, or replying to are like aggregation bots for tits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like MILF Tit 42, and it's like you know, it's not a singular person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that would be more or less
But
desperate.
he's like, I heard this one's got boobs on it.
Yeah, so like go up back to the top. There's one that's like a nurse thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I examine your cock? And he's like, only if I can examine the ass and pussy. And I'm like, bro, there's not a person running this account. Like, this is and like, this is the person.
I certainly don't know any more about that account.
It's just like, it is really.
I have no idea that they're ripping off a Reddit website.
It's just funny that like.
Certainly no group I've ever been to.
But does this make sense to you? That like, I swear to you, like a quarter of the troglodytes that reply to my
no,
nonsense.
Absolutely.
Is
I've
like,
noticed it.
and like,
I mean,
they fave and reply and retweet like the Shooter McGavin comedy account of tits. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Because
dude,
a lot
like,
of times,
what are you doing? Like,
whenever you get a tweet that you interpret as critical, it's a little unclear, right? Like, there's a lot of things that I'll read where the first time I read it, I'll be like, this fucking asshole needs to back the fuck off. And then we'll read it a couple more times and be like, maybe I don't need to.
like the Pat Summit thing.
Just don't. What do you mean?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, somebody said something to you that was like, is this bigger news than Pat Summit dying? And you immediately got mad.
Oh, well, I didn't get mad.
You thought it was a shot, and then you realized it was an ally.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a great performance by me. I understand that.
I don't even know that you responded.
Oh.
You just told me, I thought that you were like, I was upset about that. And then you realized like, oh, this dude.
Yeah, no. I responded the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you can see the whole thread of me being an idiot and then realizing that I'm an idiot.
Okay. He was hyping his boy up.
He was trying to do the alley oop, and I acted like I just rejected it.
Wrong way, Bayless. That'll happen.
God damn it.
That'll happen.
But yeah, so you'll be like, you know, all right. I think that this person might be trying to be a dick to me, and really, for the most part in my life now, I just like keep scrolling and don't, you know, how many times can I see these kinds of tweets before it just all washes over me? The answer is, you know, whatever the number was 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, sometimes I do have time.
Yeah.
And
R.I.P. Or L.I.P.
So I'll go and, you know, be like, I want to further understand the context of whether or not this person was attacking me or if I'm reading the tone wrong.
Yeah.
And then so you'll go to click through the page and be like, what else do they got here? And yeah, dude,
it's astounding.
The accounts clearly run by like males collecting porn for other males, but like in a female voice, you know, like.
Yeah, but that's not as weird as the males who take the bait and like they take a break from like, actually the Democrats built the cages to be like, fave to suck my tits. Like that's just a weird intersection of online culture to me. And I feel like I end up interfacing with it a lot. I mean, you can go through the rest of this if you want, but I mean,
China Joe.
It's all going to be the same shit. You know,
it's a Scott Baio retweet.
Here's a Scott Baio retweet with a Photoshop Martin Luther King.
If you see this, say hi and like, please.
Well, he did.
He did. Yeah.
He absolutely did. I don't know what else to say. Oh, those are juggerific. That's a retweet he had.
Yeah.
So
it was from Ass Club Daily.
I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the people that are primarily checking me. So
I mean, we've been going for an hour. And you want to play all 7 cuts of the president? Or?
We can save them.
Okay.
I don't care.
Save them entirely?
It's up to you.
I mean, if you have whatever the amount of time this is,
so the problem for you that you have here is that now that the time changed, I waited until the kid went to bed to come over here, which is now inexplicably later. So we're trying to get the most of the outside.
Yeah.
So now it's later, but I also don't have to go home. So it's up to you.
Like at all?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not like rushing home. Like, I mean, the first one's really funny. But I mean, everyone's heard
You
it.
know, I want to get to this because it's just happened now, and I want to double check this with our producers. The DHS Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, has resigned, Mr. President.
Well, I'm not surprised. Good. That's a big victory for our country.
Hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me listen to my team one more time. Forgive me. Forgive me. That has not happened. But and I apologize, listening to the team and you.
Cross off
But
that victory.
I know that you. Right. Well, and I want to tell everybody, you issued a statement last night, and you called for that, though. And you're just talking about him, just to clarify, and as somebody who you feel is not competent to handle what's going on. So let me clean up on aisle.
That's fun. That's a fun one.
The funniest thing about that one was
No.
she did a Cronkite-esque, like, glasses removed, set it down. It's like, listen, if this dude had been domed, taking your glasses off would not have, even that would not have been required. Like, he's the DHS secretary.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Harris, like, resign. Like a fucking seventh department, like basically undersecretary has resigned. And
when
then
they
Trump's
set up
like,
the cabinet
Trump's
meetings, he's at a second table, a smaller table.
and it's plastic, and the legs pop off, and they have like a little heat up microwave mac and cheese. But Trump, like when she says it, Trump's like, good, and then he's like, oh,
Cross that victory off the list.
yeah, I mean, why not? Fuck it.
So we had great numbers. All they had to do is continue our policies. And even, I was, look, we won the election as far as I'm concerned. We had a great election. We got almost 75 million votes. But we were going to make.
That's so close to the Chapo from the night, fake Trump. We're doing so much with election.
Even more stringent, with the understanding that we want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally. Very simple.
I only cut that off because I don't know if like most people know that he's still doing the We Won set.
When he runs in 2024, he is going to still be doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right, but I would like us to keep track of the fact that this is, much like in 13 or 14 when we talked about him running. It's not going away. The third cut is I mean, we don't have to play the whole thing. It's pretty long. But it's just funny because it's exactly what you and I have been banging our heads into concrete about for so long, which is like they actually have people convinced that, and by people, I mean, I don't know, 35 to 40% of the country who still like rock with Fox, that Biden is carrying out Bernie's agenda and then some, which is, I don't know, like
I wish, bud.
a special type of, like, it actually makes my skin itch.
He's firing the smokers.
And, bombs.
Just totally bailing on the $15 minimum wage.
No fight for 15.
Like, yeah, dude.
Like, okay, so let me say this.
The smallest socialist ask is the $15 minimum wage. And he was like, too much.
So I think you'll relate with this. And I don't even know that we have to play the audio. I think you'll relate with this because I didn't really like think about this enough to put it in notes. But one of the most frustrating things when I was a kid was feeling like I was either getting in trouble for something I didn't do, or like, for example, okay, here's a good example. Like, I would clean the bathroom and my mom would come in and she would say, have you started? And I'd be like, well, I cleaned the bathroom. She's like, who cleaned the bathroom? And I'm like,
doesn't look clean to me.
well, I mean, I did. She's like, nobody cleaned this bathroom.
Not as I can tell.
And it would make my fucking blood boil, dude.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Like, I would just be like, I cannot handle this. Or I would like, weed eat the yard. And she would walk around, or whoever would walk around and be like, I mean, there's so many spots that weren't weed eated. Somebody could not have possibly weed eated this yard. That's how I feel listening to them talk about actual progressive policies and Joe Biden, is that like, they're saying like, all right, this happened. And then I'm like, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. It's right here. It's just, I can't handle it.
And they're the numbers are so vast. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said 20 years. I'll bet you it's maybe forever.
He's talking
maybe
immigration numbers.
From the beginning of this whole mess. But it's much more than 20 years. They said the worst in 20 years. No, they're going to destroy our country in other ways, too, if you look at what's going on. You're going to have pack the court.
Well, Montana
You're going to have big tax increases.
He's like,
they're
shut
going to take
up.
your guns away. I mean, take a look at what they're doing with take a look at what's coming up, and I predicted it all. Now, I must say, I never thought that Biden, and it's not Biden, it's other people that are, putting stuff in front of him.
You don't think it's him?
But I never thought that Biden in a million years would be worse. Nobody did. Would be far worse than Bernie Sanders. This is Bernie Sanders on steroids. This is what he's doing with all, and you haven't seen anything yet. So the Second Amendment is going to be obliterated.
Bitch.
Yeah,
I wish you were right.
I have a creeping suspicion that it's just not based in fact. It doesn't match the reality I feel like I've been living through.
No. Yeah, why not?
Who the hell knows what we're taking in? These people are destroying our country. I said it was going to happen during the campaign. That's why I got 75 million votes, probably much more than that. And it's a disgrace what's been allowed to happen to our country. And they're persecuting people. They're stopping them from talking. They're stopping free speech. And they're persecuting
let's get into that.
Great Americans.
Let's get into that.
And frankly, I mean, I even hear they want to tear down the wall, if you can even believe it. Tear down the wall. This is...
If you can believe it.
Not the way you heard it from Ronald Reagan. This is not a wall that should be torn down. This wall has made a tremendous difference of stopping sex traffickers, human traffickers,
all right, pause it right there.
Drug deals.
It's like
he's been listening to that ticket spot.
Yeah, okay, pass. The rare time where he displays that he has like some level of historical, he knows
the Reagan greatest hit.
Historism to lean on.
I mean, he lived through that.
This is not like the Reagan wall.
He was like 40 when that happened.
Yeah.
So I would hope that he.
Why would he tear down this wall?
Drugs, drugs were way down under my administration that last
drugs
year.
Way down. Drugs down.
We had 28,000 Mexican soldiers guarding for free.
We are up
Zero.
against a
we paid nothing.
Commercial break.
By the way, we
Will
paid
you stay
nothing.
With me?
He does not give a shit.
Commercial. If we have to take it, my team's
I
going to let
would
me know
only
I don't
because
need to
it's
cut
you.
in.
Only because it's you. I will.
Well, thank you. I know we have so much to cover here. This topic of
hold
commercial
on.
is so
Go
wide.
ahead. Go ahead. Go to break, you dummy.
Okay.
They are destroying our country, and they're going to destroy it with tax increases, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before.
Okay.
In order to accomplish the Green New Deal nonsense.
Yes.
They're destroying it with woke. When China looks at woke and
they're doing so much with woke. Folks.
This is clearly what we were building toward.
Yeah, this is one that
when China looks at woke.
I mean, it's just because the reason the impression is that way is because they're trying to capture him, but they are then exaggerating it, but he's showing here that they're not.
Right.
When China sees what we're doing with woke,
it's the only war he knows how to fight.
Destroying our country, and they're going to destroy it with tax increases, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before, in order to accomplish the Green New Deal nonsense. They're destroying it with woke. When China looks at woke and they see the biggest problem we have is Dr. Seuss. In the meantime,
we don't think
they're building
that.
factories and trying to kill us in so many different ways.
So many ways.
They laugh at us. They think we're so... Frankly, they think our country is stupid when they look at this, when our competitors look at what's going on in our country, taking down the statues to great heroes and so many other things. Now, I do it because I want to do what's right, and they are destroying our country.
I post to live and live to post. Mm-hmm. So my two-pronged approach to that is I'm totally with him. Anybody who perceives our country's biggest problem as being Dr. Seuss is, in fact, a moron.
Yeah. I mean, if he thinks that people who think that our biggest problem is he should see his son's Instagram account.
Or the network he's speaking to.
I'm just saying, this man is... Well, I don't watch that much Fox News. Whereas I gleefully read every single thing that Donald Trump Jr. posts on Instagram.
Dude,
so,
not only do I read or do I watch a fair piece, there's a woman who reports on Media Matters, and she does like a full content analysis every week. And she was the one who was like, she was talking about the fact that not only did they spend like a disproportionate amount of time on Dr. Seuss, they were, when they did it, showing images of like green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
We talked about that, didn't we?
I don't know that we did. Like, they're talking to like the books that weren't released. Also, you gotta love it. And the 7 millionth person has made this point. But they're big. Like, first of all, I think we all know it's not Joe Biden that said we gotta put away Dr. Seuss.
Are you sure?
It's the Dr. Seuss Foundation.
It's Kamala.
And the Dr. Seuss Foundation owns, all of the rights to the Dr. Seuss books. So whenever your big protest is to buy a Dr. Seuss book, that money is going to the people that you're mad at. It's just a loop.
Yeah, but it makes me feel good.
I mean, I'm not against people buying Dr. Seuss books. They're good books.
But then whenever he says...
I wouldn't have made the decision, I don't think.
I don't want to get into that at all. When China...
Because you're afraid of the hot topic.
He says when China says... they look at our country and they think like tearing down.
Would have pulled some of them, not others.
Well, the funniest thing about like what he's saying about like, removing statues or changing names, like he's basically advocating for being communist China.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the funniest, like two-pronged part of it is that on one hand, he's like identifying, yes, it's absurd that people actually think that Dr. Seuss is a problem, even though the only people that think that that's a problem are the people that I'm talking to right now. China's
bad, but all of their cultural priorities are correct.
And having a president who can stay president forever.
Yeah,
like all the shit that like I've said, that's what's so funny to me.
Everything, all the way that they do everything, it's amazing. It's A+.
Pretty much what I would opt for.
And that's why they must be defeated.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it. Or we got one more. I think I went out of order.
Yeah, this one's funny. So you can end with this.
Most presidents, ex-presidents like yourself, do not weigh in at this level. Why did you feel like you needed to on this issue?
Well, you called me. I didn't call you, in all fairness. But the reason I weigh in is very simple.
You wrote the statement last night. It was pretty strong.
I wrote a statement. I put out a statement. But the reason I weigh in is very simple. They're destroying our country.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the...
that's a good line.
High school text.
I could see...
well, shit, I didn't call you.
yeah.
What the fuck you want me to do? You called me. What am I not answering?
The phone rang. I just pick it up. And I start going. No, but the reason I do it is simple. It's because they're destroying the country. You could very easily see Rob Lowe pitching that as a line in a speech for President Bartlett of the West Wing. Like that's just the great messaging. I do it because I love the country too much.
Love West Wing, dude. That shit is so dope.
I agree. I watched A Few Good Men this week.
Really?
While we're talking about Sorkin.
First time?
No. 7 millionth time.
Okay.
I'm going with 7 million is my big number. I'm saying it over and over in the podcast. It's going to be big. People are going to like it.
It bums me out that's him.
That it's Sorkin?
Yeah, because I like it.
I mean, I like most of the things he does.
I just hate him so much. You could... If right now plopped into his exact same role, I'm not talking about the grind, I'm not talking about the step up. If plopped into his exact same role, you could do better. Right now.
Than Aaron Sorkin?
Yes.
I mean, he's probably the only person on the planet where I don't feel that way.
Deloitte? Touche?
Could I work at Deloitte and Touche? Easily. Dude, if they name me CEO, they would fucking triple revenues in a week.
We gotta go. Go look at some porn star Twitter accounts.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow. For everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm TC and Jake. We do thank you for watching. Good night.